All right. Check 1 2 1 2. Welcome to the live stream, guys. Today we are talking about record box. As you guys can see, let me just go to export mode. Yes. Hello, hello, everyone. All right, we're just waiting for people to join in, and then we'll start the workshop. Till then, play some music. Let's play this. Test run. Also, I'm going to be putting up. So we've got a lot of questions from Instagram as well. So we'll try to answer most of them in this one itself. If not, you can always reach out to this page, and yeah, we're always there to help. Joel, hope you guys are doing good. We wait for like 2 minutes more and then we start with the record box masterclass. Till then, enjoy this track. This is called Hush, my track with Muncie Scott. Give you some volume. Hi Nishank, welcome to the live stream. Thanks for joining us. We've got some familiar names in the stream. I'm really happy. Thanks a lot for joining in, guys. Got quite a few questions, so yeah, I think we'll be answering a lot today. Anything in particular you guys want to know, please tell us in the comments, and we'll be able to help you. Let me just quit all this stuff. All right. Also, drop in a like, guys. We always like it when you like us. All right, let's just stop this and start with the workshop. Once again, a very warm welcome to this home workshop. We'll be starting from the beginning, giving you a brief idea on how things work in this amazing software called Recordbox. So, also, if you have any questions, you can always drop in the comments. I will take some time to read them, but I will definitely read them and try to answer all your queries. For now, let me give you a brief idea. So, a Recordbox is a software which is made for DJs, and initially it started off as a playlist management. So the main purpose has always been, preparing before you start playing, right? And then you start playing with the software as well. But that's another plus pack. Now we'll be talking about plus packs in a few minutes. For now, let's see what you get when you have when you just download this for free. So obviously, to download you have to go online and recordbox.com. There you will have to sign in, and once you've signed in, you will be you will get this software, and this is how it's going to look like. Basically, the top screen, let me just go through the interface quickly. The top bit is the track. So over here you have the transport controls, which is play, pause, cue. You go forward, backward, and then forward, rewind. You can zoom in and zoom out. This can go in like this, so you get a better view. And over here you have the artwork. You can eject the track, obviously, and you have some information that is essential to you when it comes to knowing the track. So you have the title of the track, which in my case is Hush Mix No Extend. That means it's not an extended one. By the way, I'm playing these are all my tracks. So yeah, you'll not be hearing any tracks that you've heard before, but these are tracks to basically give you an example of how we can work around things, right? You have this record panel. This is for recording when you are playing like two tracks at the same time, and you have this multiplayer mode. You can do that. And then timing, the key, which is a really cool feature, which we'll talk about in some time. And then BPM. And over here we have the hot cues, memory cue, and stuff like that. I don't really use them too much, but we will touch upon them, for a bit. All right. So when you get the software, this is what it looks like. The first thing you have to do is drag and drop the tracks in the software. So the first tip that I would give is anytime you get a track, so let's say what I do is I always have my tracks in this folder. Let's go to my stuff. This is my music, and then let's say I get some track. What I would do is I would go to collection, and in collection I would just drop tracks like this. That would be the first step to do. Just drag and drop tracks in the collection first. Now, what happens when you drag and drop tracks in the collection? What will happen is the software will analyze the tracks. Now, in case it is not happening, what you have to do is you have to go here, settings, and in this you have the option of auto analysis. Let me just quickly go where it is, over here, and you see auto analysis over here, and I've enabled it. So say if I am playing a gig from Recordbox, I would disable it. But at home, because I am preparing, I have to enable it because what I want is I want the software to analyze the track the moment I put the track in the software itself. Now for now it's enabled. I have dragged the track in and it's analyzed it. Once that is done, then you would make a playlist. Now a playlist is a list of tracks, as the name suggests, that you're playing. And there are various ways of organizing your playlist, right? So yeah, guys, please share the stream as well so that we guys can get as many people. We need a lot of people to see this, and basically the idea is to spread the knowledge as much as we can. So please try to spread the word. We will be going through almost everything when it comes to Rekordbox. So yeah, it's good for beginners. We'll be focusing on people who already know about it, and also for pros, because we will be talking about playlist management. We will be talking about Rekordbox performance mode, which is why is it the dopest out of all. Now yeah, coming back to playlist, what you do is you just go on playlist, click on this plus, and create a new playlist. Now this playlist can be named, let's call it Stay Home. Please stay home, guys. Don't go out. It's not good. And over here, what you have to do is the track that you have put on the collection, just drag and drop. For example, let's say I have these Wu-Tang a cappella that I want to try on. Just drag and drop to the playlist. Now I've got these tracks over here. You can see they are already analyzed. You can see the BPM. So that's a sign where, yes, we have the software has already analyzed the tracks, right? You will see BPM done. You will see the key done. Now, a lot of people don't use the key feature that much, right? So for people who don't use the key feature that much, you can what you can do is you can disable this particular feature. So over here, again in the analysis, so you go to settings and analysis, you can actually tell the software what all do you want to analyze, right? So you can always take off phrase, key, BPM, grade, whatever. For me, this is what I usually keep. I keep the BPM grade and the key. Why I do it, I'll tell you in some time. Now this is another one, which is set memory cue at the first beat of the track while analyzing. This is something that a lot of people are confused about. Now, a memory cue is not a hot cue. We'll talk about that in details a little bit later. But what you see over here, these are hot cues. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hot cues. And memory cue, which is this cue, is different. So in reality, you've got 9 hot cues just by default, right? So this is your first cue. Now this is the cue where the track will start from in general. So whenever in a CDJ, if this is flashing, that means you have set a memory cue in the beginning, and this can be your first cue, and then your hot cue will start from, let's say, A. So let's say in this track, the intro is like fairly, like it's got a synth intro. Now I don't want to play from here. So what I would do is I still have this as an option. So this cue will always be my first cue, but my hot cue would be somewhere here. So my bass starts from here. I would probably have a hot cue over here. So now I have a hot cue, and I also have a memory cue. So whenever I start the track, my track will start from here, the yellow marker in the bottom, right? Now that's memory cue and hot cue. Okay, so analysis. Now when you drag and drop the track, you will see these BPMs. Most of the time is correct. There are 2 ways of analyzing. There is normal and dynamic. If you are playing music which is 4/4 and where the BPM is not changing so much, you should do normal, which is recommended. I think these recommendations are coming from my end. So I highly recommend it if you are using a 4/4 track. So let's say if you have, let's say Tuhin is a guy who's doing techno. Now techno is a 4/4 music. 4/4 is the time signature. So you have 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, and the BPM is pretty much constant throughout, right? At that time you would be using normal, and why this is preferred is, in this case scenario, the software will pick up the BPM, and it'll keep it constant throughout. Now in dynamic, what will happen is, let's say I'm an open format DJ. I play almost every style of music, and there are times where I have tracks which have the BPM which is varying from, let's say, a 70 BPM, and then it moves to, say, 100 BPM. Now there I use dynamic BPM, dynamic analysis, because I need the software to I want the software to know that my BPM is varying. In a normal analysis mode, the software will take that one BPM as the constant BPM, right? So whenever you have tracks which are dynamic, which have variations in BPM, just use dynamic. And normal is for tracks which are people who are playing 4/4 music. So all the house DJs, techno DJs, they would go for normal. I go for dynamic because I have tracks which have variations in keys and all, variations in BPM and stuff like that. Yeah. All right. So yeah, always click on this. This is a very good option. Now, write value to ID3 track. I usually don't do that, because it's a good practice to have, but I feel you don't really have to do it because like I want my I keep changing the stuff a lot. So for me, I don't write the value to the ID3 tag, right? Now, okay, this is for your CPU. If you are using a solid CPU, you should go on a performance mode. Otherwise, normal is for CPUs which are a computer which is a little lighter on the tech side. Yeah. Okay, so let's go to a track. Let's drag and drop this track. So you have made a playlist. Now, what you do is you drag and drop the track over here. So say you have these 4 tracks. Now you will analyze the track, and by analysis, what I mean is I am telling this. Think of Record Box as a guy who does not know anything, right? He's a friend, but he does not know too much. Now, when you tell this person the information, he becomes the best friend that you have ever had, So the idea is to tell the software what the BPM is and what my first beat of the bar is, because once you feed in all this information, then only you can use the software to the fullest, right? So that's the most important thing. A lot of people do not analyze their tracks, which is and then they play the tracks, and then they're saying that, this is not happening, that is not happening. You have to understand that everything will happen only properly only if you have analyzed the tracks. So analysis is probably one of the most important things that you have to do when you are preparing, right? So now, how do you do the analysis? Very simple. You just drag and drop the track. Go to grid. In the grid, this is like you can see, I've switched on this thing called the tooltips. So it'll tell me what button does what. This is a good practice to do it as well. If you're learning the software right now, you should always have this thing on. Now, like it says the first beat of the bar. So this is the 1. Now 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 1 of the whole thing. Now, when I press 1, you will see the red lines. So these red lines are the 1. Now let's say I put it over here. You see the red lines have changed. So these red lines are the transient markers for the track. Now this is not my 1 for the track. Now I have to listen to the track and figure out where the first beat of the bar is. So let's just hear the track. Now count it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this is how I would count the track, and I know this is where it starts because the sound's like 1, 2, 3, 4. right? So I go here, click on this, and now you can see all my transients are in place. Just to check, you can actually add metronome, and so this is a reference tone for us. Okay, so someone's asking what should be the bitrate in audio settings for performance mode. It depends on the device that you're using. So it's different for every device, and whatever I would if I am playing, I focus more on the latency factor of it. So if I'm getting no latency, I'm pretty much good with whatever bitrate is going on. So it's very specific to the device, right? And Nishank will be able to elaborate on this as well. So Nishank, feel free to come in. And yeah, anyways, coming back to this whole scenario. So I have this thing sorted. It's on time. Let's purposely change the BPM and see what happens when we don't have the right BPM. So let's just make it 80. So, oh, okay. So make it 90. So now you see when I play it now, what will happen? So let's go to the and see. You can see it's all off, right? Now that's why metronome is too important whenever you're analyzing, because this gives you an idea, and this will help you when you're analyzing the tracks in dynamic mode as well. Good idea, good practice would be to keep it on, and once you get used to the waveform, then I think it will be sorted. So maybe like a month or so. I think I was pretty used to it from the beginning itself, so I don't really use it. But yeah, for people who are just starting off, or people who are not used to, or people who are having problems, this is a really good way to analyze or grid acapellas, because metronome in acapellas you don't have beats, so metronome helps there a lot. Okay, so let's say I have this track, the track is going on. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see what the tempo is, right? For example, for now we don't know what the tempo is, right? So let's just see. Take off the metronome right now and just play it. Now you see there is a tap button that is lit up, right? So I can always tap and check what the BPM is. So this is how I usually analyze. So a lot of people will have different ways of analyzing, but I felt this is the best way and this is the fastest way to do it. So again, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now if you can see 100.61 is the BPM that we have gotten. Usually this is not the correct BPM, but it is very close to your the BPM that is correct. So what you do is you just put your transient, like the first transient, which is the first big sound that you can see, and add the first beat there, and then and then just change the BPM to basically round it off. So right now 100.61 means I can do like 101, right? So if I add 101, now when I play it, I see that over here it is not, the red line is actually not touching the one waveform, right? So I would go back to that hotkey again, which is A, and I would make it 100, which is another closest round off. Now when I play it, it's on time. So this is a good way of analyzing your tracks. And DJ Sachin is asking which mode can we analyze. I personally feel that this export mode is the best mode to analyze, but we can do the exact same thing in performance as well. Performance mode is actually made for performing, so I feel over here you're more focused on the track when you're preparing. So this is more of a prep thingy, right? So yeah. Anyways, this is how you set the BPM. Now a lot of times what will happen is you will have tracks which have half the BPM, double the BPM. You can always fix it from here. So if you want to do half the BPM, becomes 50. You can see the BPM has become 50. So if you hear the metronome, so now it's counting half. And when you're doing double the BPM, it's counting double. So this is for DJs who have this whole variation. Let's say people who are playing stuff in a certain BPM and they want to have double time tracks in that as well, half times. It's for that basically. Yeah. One more another way of doing the whole analysis is using these arrow buttons. Now these are two different functions. So one is expanding beat intervals. Now expanding beat intervals is basically you are changing the BPM in this case scenario. So for computer, it is not. If you look at me, for the computer, the BPM computer is not really hearing the song. What it is seeing is the transient. So for the computer, this is one and this is the second beat, and the BPM is actually the distance between these two. So if I expand the beat interval, the BPM will reduce. If I contract this whole beat interval, the BPM will increase because the beats are coming faster. So whenever you want to increase the BPM, you press on expand, and whenever you want to increase the BPM, you shrink, and whenever you want to decrease, you expand. And so there are two ways. Remember, I told you that you have to tell the software two very important things. One is the BPM. The second is the position. Now you fix the position with these two. So obviously over here, I'm just doing it by looking at it, but there are times where you want to be super precise, and this is not that precise. So what you can do is you can just go like super zoomed in, and with this you can just move. You can see the red transient moving, right? So you can just move it to your convenience, and yeah, we've got the thing sorted. So I hope this answers all the analysis questions, right? Once again, welcome everybody to the live stream. We've got Manny. I want to shout out to everyone who's there. Tuhin is there, one of our Pioneer Pro DJs. We were hoping Mash would join us. I think he's going to take some time to join in. Nishank's there. So yeah, they will be helping us during the workshop as well. Anto, Adarsh is asking, can you please show one example of adding acapellas to beats? So now this would be an example where I have to add acapellas to beats. This will be, I think we'll do this in performance mode. So please remind me later on, or maybe Nishank, you can remind me, and I can probably show you how to warp an acapella or to grid an acapella. But I think for that I have to see if I have some. Let me see if I have some acapellas. So yeah, I don't think I have any vocals. Let me see. Yeah, I don't think I have a solo acapella, which will not get caught by copyright. Yeah, bro. But it's very easy. You just have to. Let me just still check. 1 second. Nah, bro. Don't have it. 1 second. Maybe I have. Yeah, I have. Yeah. So this track is a track that is coming up very soon. This one's got Stretch's voice on it, and in the end, what I usually do is, if you see on top, I have the track, and in the end, I have acapellas going on. So what I would do is, I would just I would have like these edits where in the end there'll be acapella. So this is where the hot cues come in play. I would have a hot cue over here. So this is where he starts saying the acapella. So again, grid it, and I'll just give it like C.
Call it wildlife.
And let's just change the BPM for now. So make it 90. Right now, you see the red transit is also in the wrong place. So let's play this and hear what happens. Right?
Call it wildlife. Call it wildlife. They call it wildlife.
It's wrong. It's not how it should sound like. Right? It should sound like call it wildlife. 3, 4. Right? So what I'll do is I'll go to the first bit. So it should be from here. It'll be call it wildlife. Call it, that first bit is my 1. So fixing my 1 here. And now listening to it.
Call it wildlife. Call it wildlife.
I can see that again it's not working well, but let me just...
They call it wildlife. Call it wildlife. Call it
wildlife. You guys can hear it's
call
not
it wildlife.
Really doing the right... it's not, the metronome is not in the right place. So again, what I'll do is the same scenario. I'll tap and see what's happening. So
call it wildlife. Call
take
it
off the metronome for now, because metronome sometimes takes you, pulls you off. So yeah, tap it.
Call it wildlife.
So
call it wildlife.
3,
call it wildlife. They call
3,
it wildlife.
4,
call
1,
it wildlife.
2,
call
3,
it wildlife.
4.
Call it wild.
So now I can see the transients are in the right place almost. So go back there again to my hot cue and basically set the first beat, right? So now when you play it,
call it wildlife. Call it.
And now let's just do the metronome and see if it's working fine.
Wildlife. They call it wildlife. Call it wildlife. Call it wild.
Pretty good. But once again, I have 99.24. I'll just round it off to 99 and see if it is working, right? So we'll go to my hot cue again. Always you have to kind of keep doing this, fixing your 1. So now let's do this.
Call it wildlife. Call it wildlife. They call it wildlife. Call it wildlife. Call it wildlife. Call it wildlife. They call it.
So it's gone little off. I can see and hear also. So I'll go back again, make it 100, and when I do this, and now when I hear it with the metronome,
call it wildlife. Call it wildlife. They call it wildlife. Call it wildlife.
Yeah. So that's sorted, and if you can see, I have actually done the track the same way. So, one more thing. So because the whole track is in the same BPM, because the track is in the same BPM, you will see the first 1.1 bar also is in the same. It's in the right place. So usually what happens is when you fix this red, your first beat of the bar, it fixes everywhere, right? So yeah. Oh, also one more thing, which I think a lot of people have kind of faced an issue is they try to make a hot cue over here, so to have that little silence before, and it will not make the hot cue here. So always keep in mind whenever this thing is minus in any negative value, it will not make a hot cue. So a lot of times if you have a problem where it is not creating a hot cue, it is because you are in the negative values. Yeah. So yeah, first beat, you just drop it, another hot cue, put a cue here, and
call it wildlife.
Perfect. So yeah, this is how you warp an acapella or grid an acapella. I hope this answers your question.
Call it wildlife.
All right, we're done with analysis. Any more questions regarding analysis? Please feel free to ask it. Okay, so is there any option to change minor, major to A B? There is. I don't think you can change a track from a minor to a major, but what you can do is you can change the root key. So if a track is at C, you can actually change it to a D or a F or whatever. But for that, you have to do it in performance mode because that's a plus back feature. Yeah. All right. Now let's go to playlist management, my favorite. How do you make the most of this awesome feature? So you have created your tracks, right? So you have analyzed your tracks, your BPMs are sorted, your keys are sorted, you have your rating done. So you give your ratings to the track. So a quick tip for you guys. So let's say you have, I have these 4 tracks, right? Let's take these 4 tracks, right? Hush, Caveman, Plain Jane, Nuclear, and all that stuff. And I want to give all of them 5 stars, right? So what I would do is I'll go to this info panel, right? And I have all of them selected, and then I just click on this, and then all of them has got 5 stars. So this is a quick tip for you guys. Can you guys see it? Yeah, it's just above this thing. Also, this can be done with if you want to have a lot of if you have tracks. So let's say I want to call all these originals, right? And that originals should be in my the artist. So let's just change the artist name to my artist name. So I'll just my artist name is Skipster. And when I change it, it's changed the artist name to Skipster. And when I see over here, go to artist. Where is artist? So many things, man. So hard to see. Yeah. And you see over here, artist. Oops. You see Skipster, right? So this is a quick tip for kind of like giving basically saving time when it comes to doing all this. Yeah. All right. So also, if you don't need any of the features, just take it off. I feel that's you should make use of the space you have, the real estate you have. All right. Okay, auto loop. So this is also one thing that I think should I talk about it right now or maybe later? I'll talk about it a little later. Right. So let's talk about playlist management right now because we were on that topic. So when you have a playlist, let's say I have this playlist and all these 3 playlists like Stay Home, Perform, Skipster, and Samples Oliver are my playlist from it's all the stuff that I want to have in one particular playlist. So what I can do is I can have a playlist folder as well. So I can create a new folder and call it a test folder, and this folder can contain all these playlists and they can go into this folder. This is a really good way to organize your tracks, playlists, and also, for example, if I have b-boy, I have all these b-boy stuff. I have hip-hop, I have all the hip-hop stuff. Stars, this is basically a playlist where I have collected all the tracks that are super dope. Just click on stars and these are all my tracks just got stars in it. Now sorted is like so this is how basically I see my tracks. And I have old school, I've got common ones, old school hip-hop. So all these, it's a good way to have folders because they'll help you in organizing things properly. It's like folder within a folder. That's how it works, right? Okay, so now we have sorted our playlist, we have done the folders and all. How do we create, or how does the software helps us in making killer sets, right? So the first and foremost thing is harmonic mixing. So you can arrange things by BPM, right? So you just click on this and you get all the tracks that are related when it comes to BPM. So in DJing we mix one track with the other track, so basically tracks with 2 similar BPMs will mix well together. Also, the tracks with relative keys will mix really well together, right? So for that we have 2 options. One is this particular thing where you see this master. So this is basically the traffic light feature. Now in this, what happens is, the moment I click it, whatever is the master track. So right now it's the master because this is the track that is playing. Whatever the key of this track is, in this case scenario is F sharp. My software will show all the relative tracks to the track that is master. So now right now I'm playing this.
Call it wildlife.
Reduce the BPM volume, and when I go to collection, in the key, the tracks will become. Wait, let's make it player A. So now over here you will see all the tracks that are related to this track will show. So all the green ones are basically the tracks that will go really well with this track that is going on top. So player A, because we have select, now we are forcing the software to just use player A as an option. So anything that is playing in player A. So for example, now I play Escobar on this. It's going to show me everything related to G minor. So really good way to see the tracks that will play, that'll go well with this track. Now in this there is a small problem, which is say I want to play tracks at a certain BPM. Now I want to play tracks of 80 BPM, or let's say I want tracks from say 80 to 100 BPM. Now for that we have this thing called the relative playlist over here. We'll click on this. Now this is my related playlist kind of thing, like I call it related playlist. So over here what I have to do is I have to tell the software what is my master track. So where is it, what is the main track that I have to get relative tracks for. So right now the moment I click on A, it'll show me all the tracks in my collection that'll go really well with this. Also in terms of BPM and in terms of keys and everything. But say I do not want the BPM from below 70, right? So what I would do is I would go here and basically give conditions. So now over here you have BPM and key. Usually I use these two only. So I don't want tracks which are less than or more than +4 BPM of the track that is being played. And the key, you have two options, which is three options actually, which is the same key, which is in our case G minor, or related key 1, which is one algorithm, and related key 2, which is the second algorithm, right? So you have three options, and usually this is more than enough. But say you're playing a certain genre, you can actually assign that as well. Say you're playing tracks which are certain ratings. So let's say I need all the tracks that are 5-star rating, and I'll just have to say that all the tracks which are 5 stars, show me those tracks as well. But I don't usually use this, so I just use BPM and key. That pretty much does the thing for me. So when I press OK, now you see all the tracks that are this track is 90 BPM, so I'll get 94, not more than that, and not less than that. Now you see some tracks are 179, 178, 178. These are basically half the BPM and double the BPM also. So yeah, this is a really, really good way of getting a related track, and then you can just drag and drop and start creating a dope set. Now if you are using export mode only, you can actually go with 2 players and test your set, how it sounds like and stuff like that. You can always record it, and that way you will be you'll have a brief idea of how things work. So yeah, I usually do it in the performance mode. I'm happy with 1 player. In fact, when I'm playing also, I use this particular feature. Now for some people this is also not enough, right? So we all need more things in life. What I would do is I would go here, and this is basic. Okay, we'll talk about this a little later. Let's just talk about what other options do we have. We have this option where you can have multiple playlists in the same screen, right? Now we'll talk about that as well, but I think for now let's just talk about the tag feature only, because that's a good it's a good feature. So let me just clear this one, this tag list. Okay, now what is tag list? Tag list is something which you can use when you are just about to start playing, when you are performing, when you are preparing. So a tag list would be, I just click on this, add to track list. Click on this, add to tag list. So these are the tracks. Like for example, I have like a pool of 20, 30, 50 tracks, and I just want to have 4 or 5 tracks. I just tag them, and then all those tracks will come on top, and then you can create a new playlist out of that. So I just create a new playlist, call it the tag list, and this goes here, and I can delete this now and create a new tag list. So yeah, it's really very good feature to have when you're preparing, because a lot of times we are living in an era where you have like hundreds of tracks every day. So a tag list is a really good way to keep things organized, and also to narrow down your search parameters, so that's a good thing to have. Any more questions regarding these? Let me just go through the comments and see what's happening. I see Tuhin is helping people out like he always does. What should I answer? Let's skip answer this, as I don't. Oh yeah, the features are exactly the same in performance mode. Performance mode is exactly the same. Okay, so he's saying while playing on performance mode, if we have to drop a new track on record box, it's getting frozen. Can you drop any tip for that? Now, this is a problem that you would face only if your computer is not really that powerful. Also, if you are stressing too much on, if you're giving the computer too much stress. So you have to understand the power of your system first, and then always first thing that I told you, take this off, auto analysis off, because the moment you're dragging a new track, right, it is analyzing the track, right? So you should take this one off. It should be disabled. Second is the process mode should be normal, because your computer is not that strong. So basically understand the threshold at which your computer gives up. And like, okay, Nishank is saying that AMD processors are not supported idly. So yeah, please check on that. I don't think there are too many computers that are giving AMD chips. So yeah, if you have an AMD, mines are all Intel, so I really don't know how the AMD thing works. So yeah. All right, so we are done with the playlist management also. Let's just quickly go through the questions that I've had. Let me just go through. I've written everything. All right. One very important topic that I kind of forgot. So it is intelligent playlist, my favorite out of all. So what is an intelligent playlist? Like the name suggests, it is a playlist that is super intelligent. It does all the work for you. You don't have to do anything. You just have to tell the playlist, do this. It's like the genie from the Aladdin's lamp. What you have to do is just right click and create a new intelligent playlist. What will happen in this is you name it, call it test intelligent. We're testing the intelligence. Now in this, what you'll do is you're giving conditions. You're saying, okay bro, please give me the tracks that are okay BPM. Let's say they are okay. This is where I'm not that good. I don't know which one's which, so I'm just gonna, I think this is greater than, so I need tracks which are greater than 80, and if it is not, I'll just change it to whatever. And I need tracks which are less than 90, so I think this is less than, if I'm not wrong. So also, so now this is where I am changing the BPM. So I'm telling the software that, bro, give me the tracks which are in this range, and I can add more conditions to it. So say I want to add, I want a certain key, right? So key and contains A minor. So A, M, is always keep in mind this is case sensitive. So if you're saying A minor, A small m, okay, and now these are all A minor tracks that I have, which is so good, man. Like this is like the best thing ever. I almost cried when I saw this feature. So good. Uh, yeah, this really helps you when you have a collection like mine. Like I've got some 20,000 tracks, and I have to kind of go through everything. Like, and this is really it really narrows down your search, and you don't really have to do too much. And yeah, you can use it in live scenario. You can always make like say 5 or 6 intelligent playlists with different keys and different BPMs, and then the best part about this is you this is constantly updating itself. So the moment you turn off the software and then you switch it on again, it's gonna be in the same. It's gonna refresh basically everything, and then the playlist will be as good as new. So it'll be like basically taking through all the data that's already there. Yeah. All right. Hi Priyanjana. Hope you're doing well. Uh, what other things do you want me to talk about? Because I have, I think, spoken about almost everything, and it's been 1 hour. Just like Nishank said, 1 hour would not be enough. So I think we have to extend it a bit. Um, yeah, let's talk about plus packs. Am I talking really slow or am I fast? Is my speed okay for you guys? Because I don't know. I thought that I should be going slow because I speak really fast usually. So if you guys are okay with the speed, please let me know. If I'm too slow, also let me know. But yeah, let me just go to. Right now, I'm just going with my pace. So yeah, quickly going to the plus packs. You have performance mode, which is my favorite, and yeah, performance mode basically helps you do ton of stuff. Uh, okay. Um, yes, we're gonna cover Recordbox video also. Quickly. So this is what the Recordbox 20, 20 lessons per minute. Done. All right. Recordbox performance mode. This is basically a plus pack. The accent's coming in. Plus pack is basically additional packs that you get when you get Recordbox. This is what you have to buy. Nishang will be able to help you with the prices. You can subscribe right now as well, but for now, we are doing some technical updates. So the subscription will start again in a few days, and yeah, the pricing Nishang would be able to tell us. I think it's around $100 or something like that. Yeah, it's the opposite of minus packs. All right, plus pack. What all do we get when you get only the performance mode? This is what you get. You get a mixer, which shows you the decks and stuff like that. Also, one more thing. Quickly going back to export mode. You can actually use this export mode as a source for playing music. So you can actually plug in a USB to your CDJs and use this feature called the link feature, and we will be making a video on that very soon. But that link feature will allow you to play music off your laptop just by export mode. So free of cost, you can do that via the link feature. Now coming back to the performance mode, we have 2 decks. Left deck is identical to the right deck, just like the DJ decks. You have the left mixer, left channel, which is identical to the right channel. You have the crossfader, and this basically showing you the BPM. You can go up and down, just click and drag. Double click on this, which is the percentage, and you go back to the normal BPM. You have the BPM range. You can go plus, minus 6, 10, 16 wide. Usually I keep it on wide because I keep changing my BPM a lot. You can do plus minus 10. 10 is a good thing to have. Also, people who have trial mode can do everything for 1 month for free. So a good way would be to have a trial mode. I have actually done big gigs with just trial mode because I was shifting computers, and you actually get all the features for free for a month in trial mode. Now, quickly going through these are the cue points. You get 16 hot cues, bruh, in this, which is amazing. And let me just quickly switch to the the second scene and show you this awesome gear that I have. So now on your top left, you would see XP2, which is the successor to XP1. And this basically gives you access to 16 hot cues. It gives you access to every feature that is there on every feature that is there on Rekordbox. Now there are different modes, pad modes, and we'll be going through them. For now, let's just. I don't know how to mute the camera's mic and shit. So bear with me when it comes to I don't know. So yeah, what you get over here is different pad modes. For now, what I'm doing over here is just going through few features of XP1. You have 16 buttons. You can use them. As per your convenience. As in, you can have 16 hot cues. Over here, you have 8 hot cues and sampler in the bottom. So this is my first pad mode. Second pad mode would be effects and stuff like that. Third is basically my all 16 hot cues if I'm using 16 hot cues, and fourth is sampler. So these are my first 4 modes, and when I press shift I get 4 more pad modes, and which are the XP2. Yes, XP2 comes with Rekordbox DVS plus the performance pack, so it is great when you're doing performances. It's actually a plus. It was called an add-on controller initially, but now you can actually use it to play and pause as well. So it's not add-on controller anymore. You can do more things with it. All right. Request from the boss man, cover the loop feature. So let's do here. We have this track going on, right? So the first hot cue. Let's go and play. Go ahead and play this. BPM goes normal. Increase the volume so that you guys can hear me. Now this is my first cue point, and in this routine what I do is I play, so what I'll do is I'll just load this on the right deck, and on the left one I'll do the cues, so so that you can see this side more. Now when I'm playing this has an intro over here.
We are the music makers.
And then over here, and it goes like this. Over here, I start playing the keys, right, on my 16 hot cues. So over here, you'll see all 16 buttons. So this is what I'm playing, right? Right. So what I'll do is, in this case scenario, for example sort, I'll make a loop over here. So this is a 8-bar loop. Yeah, right. Now I am saving this, right? And over here you will see this set active loop, right? So this is my option for saving the loop. When I click on this, it becomes red. So that means this is an active loop, right? And you can have one active loop in this thing. 1 second. Sorry, we've got some supplies. I'm really happy. I hope you guys are getting your supplies properly. For people who are in Delhi, we got our stuff from Big Basket. Works for us. Yeah. So I hope you guys are well. Actually, on a different note, everyone's staying at home. I hope you did not do like firecrackers yesterday. We were told to just burn candles, light up the candles. Anyways, so active loop, and then what will happen in this case scenario is whenever I drag, so let's just put another stuff over here, right? And then whenever I drag and drop the track, I will have this be as an active loop. And when I'm playing it, when I reach this spot, you'll see what happens. It'll start. And it goes like. It's looping itself again. Boom. Yeah. So I don't really have to. Active loop is something where I don't have to really activate it. It really helps me when it comes to routines. And say you have a track. So let's go with the track. Remember we did wildlife, right? We did a wildlife edit, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, this is the one. Now in this, if you see over here, I have actually added.
Call it wildlife. Call it wildlife. They call it wild.
But this also kind of finishes in the end, right? What if I want to, like make an endless loop? That'll happen with active loop. So I create a loop, delete this. Now this is a loop, and I click on this. My loop is active. So
call it wildlife. Call it wildlife. They call it wildlife. Call it wildlife. Call it wildlife.
So now this will always be there, right? So whenever I put it, this will never go off, and I can whenever I'm playing, I can just so let's just break something else, and now when I put it and play it,
wildlife. Call it wildlife.
So the track ends, and you'll see it loops again. And what I'll do is I have another drum and bass remix of the same track. There are 2 tracks coming out, by the way. This is one EP. And I'll put this one over here, and I'll try to mix in, right? So suppose this is my mix. My active loops help me in this way. And you can use it in, say, tracks which have small outros, tracks which have smaller intros. It's super helpful.
Call it wildlife. Call it wildlife. They call it wildlife.
I use
call
sync.
It wildlife. Call
Sync.
it wildlife. Call it wildlife. They call it wildlife.
Sorry.
Call it wildlife. Call
Okay,
it
so you saw what happened over here, right? So I pressed beat sync and nothing happened. Sorry. It's because there was no master. Now, one more but this is like probably one thing that a lot of people ignore. In every case scenario, there has to be a master and a slave. So we work in this whole master-slave scenario, and always make sure that you have a master and a slave. Over here, the moment I put master, now when I do beat sync, becomes 100, right? So very, very important. Now, going back to the transition.
Call it wildlife. Call it wildlife.
Over here, what I'm doing is I'm gonna let this song go.
But they call us wildlife.
And you see on top, this is not done. This is not done properly. So I'm gonna make the first hotkey or the first bar. So I'm kind of gridding it while I'm playing it, right? Now it's sorted. And when you hear this looping itself, now I can sing.
Call it wildlife.
Call it wildlife.
Call it wildlife. Call it wildlife.
And I can
call it wildlife.
go.
Call it wildlife. Call it wildlife. They call it wildlife. Call it wildlife.
I can mix it with the buttons over here.
Call it wildlife. They call it wildlife. Call it wildlife. Call it wildlife.
And take it off.
They call it wildlife. Call it wildlife.
So I'm using the slide echo over here.
Just my way of life.
So you can really do a lot of things. Now, what I did over here was I used this very, very cool feature called Silent Cue. Now, this is, I think, only available when you in XP1, XP2 also. So yeah, XP2 is super dope when it comes to these things. Yeah. One more thing, please. We have to, like, for people who want to win a record box key. I don't know. I forgot what are you supposed to do to win the key, man? Nishank will tell you what am I supposed to do to win the key. You have to register. We have to fill a form when we are done with this, and then you are eligible to win a record box key. We are giving away record box for free. All right. I hope this answers the auto loop question. I hope you guys are cool with that. Yeah. Anything else you guys want me to talk about? Please address. Else, I will move on to sampler. I have made notes, bruh. I will not forget anything this time. The link will be available till 1 hour after the masterclass. So people who are interested, please sign up and win yourself a record box key. All right, coming to sampler. Now this I feel is the most underrated feature of record box. Now today I'm gonna basically show you. Silent Q, Rohit, is a feature exclusive to XP2 and XP1. I really don't know how to do it on record box otherwise. Maybe Nishant can help me. Nishant, is there a way to do it otherwise? I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to do. You cannot. I don't think you can do it without XP2 or XP1. Also, XP2 is supporting Serato as well. So people who are into Serato can buy XP2 as well. So yeah. Sampler. So sampler is very interesting when it comes to all these things. So if you see my sampler, this is my sampler mode. On top 8, I have shout outs. So you'll have horns. I love. You can always press shift and mute it. I have my
DJ Skip.
Gunshots. I love the gunshots. And then I have my tag, which I love. And then
it's DJ Skip.
Some more shout out.
Don't know when they say DJ, we say DJ Skip.
And then another. So that's the top 8. And then the bottom 8 are drums. Right? So I can do like. Something like that. I can do finger drumming when I'm playing. So pads are really, really nice in this one. Perfect size also. So yeah. Looks nice to me. Now, apart from... So these are called one-shots, right? Apart from one-shots, we can actually do a lot with it. Because a lot of people think that sampler is just, a one-shot deal. But dude, it is so much more. Now, for example, the whole Cream track that I was playing, which is this track, Perform. Now, let's say I am playing this track in a gig, right? In a gig, the left side will have a track. And for me to, use the other 16 hot cues feature. So this is for, I have 16 hot cues over here when I'm doing that performance. So say if there is a track on the right, or I'm doing a beat juggle. So I have 2 tracks on both the sides. Now what do? So sampler is my 5th track because you have 2 more tracks, A, B, C, D, and then sampler. Now in sampler, I have 4 slots of 16s. So my first slot is all my shoutouts and stuff like that. Second slot is this routine. So you'll have. Now why I prefer this over the hot cue thingy, because I'll tell you the reason. So now if you see this one, the cues are kind of like they are in a gated form, and over here I can do 2 together. So I can have like 2 tracks. So I can kind of create a chord with this. So if you are in that scenario, you can actually do some really, really cool stuff with this. So say you have like 5 chords, you can actually create like a chord with it and stuff like that. So yeah, some pretty dope stuff can be done with this, right? So in a live scenario, I will do something like this. So I will play this.
Coming out next.
Return to the classic.
I got a fresh rhythm, y'all.
And then I will play the tune. My auto loop is on, and it goes like. you know, that kind of stuff. So that's using one shots, right? Now coming to loops, basically. So this is even more cooler. So say you have tracks, right? And I've been getting this people who are interested in making mashups, people who are interested in doing tracks, where so what you can do is actually you can take some tracks. Let's say I have this DNB track problem, wala, and here what I can do is I can actually sample every bit and put them in the sampler. So what I would do is I would make a loop, right? So make it a smaller one. Problem. So this is my loop, right? And I want to use this loop on other tracks and stuff like that. What I can do is I can just cut it from here, and the moment I press this key, this becomes, one second. Yeah, so this becomes available for cutting, you can say, and click drag and drop, and this is in my sampler. Now I've got this one loop, right? So, and now I can play it with whatever I want to play it with, right? The problem here is, if you see, it ends. Now for that, what you do is you edit, make a loop, and sync it with the BPM. One very important tip I would like to give you is whenever you do something like this, on the left side there is this playlist called recordings, right? One second. Sampler, sorry. So in sampler, you will see capture is basically all the tracks that has been captured. So these tracks actually come here as a small file. So now breaks DNB problem is the name of the track. Over here, you will see this is a 4-bar loop, right? So now what you have to do is you have to actually grid this as well, because this is what the loop will also take. So always remember, when the first thing that I said was it's the record box can be your best friend when you give it the right information, right? So in this case scenario, take off the loop and I see my first beat. So just grade it quickly. First beat, 180 BPM is correct. See the side of the loop. Problem. Yeah, this is perfect. Now I drag and drop this one because this is saved in this metadata. So this one is perfect now. And what I have to do is edit, loop, sync. I can increase the gain if I want to. Now whenever I play this track with a track that is being analyzed, so always keep in mind the analysis is very, very important for all of these features to work, right? So let's put something. Okay, let's just do that wildlife thing again. So let me go to wildlife and I drag and drop it over here. My
Call it wildlife.
So when I'm playing,
wildlife.
I have this. I have two buttons.
Call it wildlife.
Because
Call
I've
it wildlife.
synced it, and the master is there. So always keep in mind again, master is very, very important. So the master is there.
Call it wildlife.
When I play this,
call it wildlife.
It
Call
should
wildlife. Call
run
it
properly.
wildlife.
So
Call it wildlife. They call it wildlife. Call it wildlife.
So now
Call
what's
it
happening
wildlife.
is,
Call it wildlife. They call it wildlife. Call it wildlife. Call it
because
wildlife.
the
Call it
BPM
wildlife.
is 180, it is picking up the it is giving us the half BPM thing, right? So what the software is doing is it's making it 100 BPM from 180. So it's going minus 80. What you have to do is over here, remember I said you can change the value. So when I do double, it becomes 90. Now when I go to my sampler, all samples captured, you see the BPM has changed to 90. Drag and drop this one here, and now when I play it, hopefully it'll work. So let's hear this.
They call it wildlife.
Master again.
Call it wildlife. Call it
And I play it.
wildlife. Call it wildlife. They call it wildlife. Call it wildlife.
Perfect.
Call it wildlife. Call it wildlife. They call it wildlife.
Okay.
Call it wildlife.
Sorry.
Call it wildlife. Call it wildlife.
Now there's a
They
reason
call it
why
wildlife.
this is not syncing, because I have not clicked over here. Also quantize, because I did not start on time. So quantize helps me in that as well. So you have quantize and BPM sync over here. Press this and everything will work fine. Try it again.
Life. Call it wildlife. Call it wildlife. Call it wildlife. They call it
Perfect.
wildlife. Call it wildlife. Call it wildlife. Call it wildlife.
Best part,
They call it wildlife.
let me just
Call
reduce
it
the BPM for you.
wildlife. Call it wildlife. Call it wildlife. They call it wildlife. Call
It's
it
working
wildlife.
flawlessly.
Call it wildlife. Call it wildlife. They call it wildlife. Call it wildlife. Call it wildlife.
So this will be in sync till the time you don't take it off sync, right? Now this is when you have the track and the sampler is following it. It can go the other way around as well. So let's just play this one first. Change the BPM. So this is my track. Let's make it 100, 110, and mix a track. So this is my loop that I've saved earlier, just a thing, and then 100 plucks. So now again I'll hear it first. So it is not synced properly. Take it off, make the, and just check my thing is working fine. My hot cue. Now when I play it, sync it, beat sync. Sync properly. So you get the idea. Right now I didn't start on the right beat, so the claps are coming together. But you get the idea. So this is what you can do when you are, you can go really creative when it comes to these things, yeah. Also, you can sequence the sampler, but I think we'll do that later. So yeah, for now, I think we have covered everything. Only thing remaining is record box video. I think we are on time. Nishank was correct. We will take 1.5 hours. So yeah, video. Now this is answering the question that was asked previously. Why do your software gets why is it hanging? Now over here, if you see, I have disabled video function because I'm not using it, right? So if I use it, I enable it. If I'm not using it, I disable it so that nothing is running in the background, right? Only the things that are required are running. Also the video quality, if you're playing videos, this system is not that great. I have another system for playing. The system that I'm streaming from actually has got a way faster CPU, and that one's 64 GB RAM, i9 if I'm not wrong, and a 6 GB graphics card, RTX 2060. I think it's RTX 2060. So yeah, if you have something like that, then you can go high. For now, it's I'm using middle, and yeah, record box video. When you click on enable record box video, you'll be able to see it in your playlist. So see, videos just come automatically, and very simple. I create a playlist exactly like how I work with audio. I have 2 tracks just now. I added them, drag and drop. Let's say this is the first beat. I analyze them. Now when you click on video, you will see the beats over here. So this is my main screen. Double click on this, you will see the video pop out. You can see it over here. When I play it, you will be able to hear it. Let me just do a hot cue and play it. Take off the sync. It's pretty much okay. So now this is my kick, right? And I can see it's a little off, so let's put the marker here. And yeah, I think it's analyzed properly. I can see the transients and see they are working properly. What I'll do is I'll make a loop here, 8-beat loop, and yeah, this is fine. Now this can be my active loop. But what I would do is, because it's a small track, I'll put the loop in the end. So, yeah, this is good. So from here, I'll do another loop. Yeah, and I'm gonna make this active. This is another hot cue. So this is what I usually do. I'll make like 3-4 hot cues, and then I have like all these things that I can play with. So yeah. So I can do something like and do this. This is all silent cue, man. Silent cue is the best shit. And then and you can exit and stuff like that. So yeah, I hope this answers all the questions when it comes to video, because video is very simple here. Video is like audio. You have just basic effects over here. You cannot really access these effects otherwise. You need a touchscreen controller for that. Pioneer has a touchscreen controller for this, and then you will be able to access the zoom in, zoom out, and stuff like that. I usually do not use I think I've covered. Did you eject your drive or remove the this Tuhin's answering some other questions. But yeah, so I hope this is okay. Is there anything else you guys want me to talk about? Nishank, please let us know if you're getting any messages. I think I have answered all the questions that were supposed to be answered. I'll just go through the questions if there is anything important to talk about. But I think we've covered record box pretty much. Pretty much everything is covered. Sampler I wanted to talk about. Video I've told you. Few things that you can do is you can add a camera to your thing. You can add an image on top. You can have texts. You know, if you've got some girls you want to give shout out to when you're playing, you know. Shout outs to DJ Skip. Yeah, shout outs to DJ Skip. I have my shout outs myself, man. I don't need people to shout out for me. I have.
Skip style.
DJ Skip! DJ Skip!
I usually give myself shout outs. So yeah, thanks to XP2, I can give a shout out to myself. All right. Is there anything else do you want me to talk about? See, for all these questions, I can always you can always get in touch with Nishank, because he'll be able to help you with all the queries. He is there in Pioneer DJ. And yeah, one more time, we are giving you the people who are in the chat can let me just see who all are in chat. People who are in the chat can log into this or get this link, and then you can get a free record box copy. I hope everything is well. Hope you guys are safe. You're doing okay. You're not stepping out. Be at home. Explore the software more. Get all your problems sorted. Get ready for the days to come. You'll be having gigs, so you should be, be prepared in all the ways possible. But yeah, apart from that, I think one more feature, pen drive, related to pen drive. If you with Recordbox now, you can actually, so say I am playing at Tuhin's place, right? Tuhin is playing, I'm playing, and I have a pen drive. I have a pen drive which is exported from Recordbox. I can actually just plug in that pen drive on Tuhin's laptop, and I will be able to play from his laptop as if it's my laptop. And I think that's a really cool feature. You don't really have to give him all your tracks, give the other person your tracks. You can just you can play off, and then when you take off the pen drive, all the data is gone. So it's and you get all the grids and the BPM as well. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for coming in. Please click on that link that has been pinned on the chat. And yeah, thank you Tuhin for supporting us. Thank you Mash for coming so late. Thank you Nishank, and it's bye bye from my side.
DJ Skip!
Skip step.